Are you in that stage of life where everything is just the same? You're kind of in a pattern every day. It's going round and round and round. You're like on a constant merry-go-round, and you've been doing this for years and years and years. And you're thinking, I've had enough. I've literally had enough of all this, dancing to someone else's tune, doing what I'm supposed to, and I'd like to change that. I've been in that position. I was just totally fed up, wandering around doing the same old thing, and gratitude is non-existent. And you think to yourself, there's got to be more to life than this. There has to be more than just going through the motions. And I think, like people I'm appealing to here is over 40. I'm well past that. I'm over 50 and I'm on my way to the next one. So I know where you're coming from. You're at that stage of life where you're thinking like, I don't want this anymore. I want to change things up. I want to switch things up. And maybe you could be on your sort of like nascent steps to spirituality. My journey to that did start, oh, blimey, it must have been about 48, 49 years old, something around there when I started mine. So possibly you may already be on that path. Or you might be thinking like, I just want to switch things around. There is more to life than this, literally. And that's where I was. And I started to open my eyes. Or should have maybe opened this eye as opposed to these two, and if you are still here, then obviously this probably does resonate with you. This has probably got some meaning to you because I've been where you are. I have made changes. I'm still making changes. Have I got this off pat? Am I the guru who knows all the answers? No, I bloody ain't. I'll be honest with you. But I go do things my way. And maybe the way of things that I do might just resonate with you as well. Maybe I can give you a few ideas, a few pointers that you can take it. Or you can think like that, Gaz, don't know what he's on about. He's just some muppet on YouTube. Fair enough. I'm not going to argue with you. But there will be those out there that maybe this will resonate with. This will kind of echo. And that's 3 times I said resonate. It's one of my favourite words. I'm sorry about that. And I just give it to you as I see it. This is my humble home. There's no fancy editing going on. It's like, and I don't see the need. That's a bit of a rebellious thing to do, isn't it, with all these fancy whiz bang effects? But for me, when I do things like this, it's almost like I'm having a conversation with you. And as I'm talking to you, I'd like to hear your thoughts. What came through your mind right now? What is sort of like, would you like to change? Are you in that situation? Do you want to change it? Or do you just want to carry on things as they are, everything in a routine, everything as it's supposed to be, and you're like where you're supposed to be, and it doesn't do to say otherwise. Why should you? You're meant to do what you're meant to. But is there that little rebel in you? If you're about my age, you'll remember the old punk rockers and all the rockers and all that sort of thing. They sort of think a little bit differently. They thought, like, I ain't having that. Maybe it's time we kind of cultivated that little rebellious spirit again. And how do we do that? Well, I don't know about you, and this actually came to me recently, but I had things that I'd done in a certain order. I'd get up in the morning, I'd have my breakfast, I do this thing I call a haiku I put online. I kind of like, and everything is in this order. Dong, 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 dong. All the time, boom, boom, boom. And we get in routines. We're creatures of habit, aren't we? We love having a routine where we sort of like go through life and just think like, right, I need to be doing this at this time, this at that time, that time, that time, so on and so on and so on and so on. And it's almost like we're living our life by numbers. Where's the surprise? Where's the surprise going to come from when you're literally putting yourself in this little box? And I guess maybe I'm like that. I even know people say, "Oh, Gary, you're like a Gemini, you're an air spirit," and I do have that freedom, but I also like to be put in a little box. And how on earth do I escape that little prison? How do I kind of like come through that? And for some of you out there, you might know your tarot, you might not. You might look at tarot cards and thinking, "Oh God, that's the work of Satan. It's hideous, evil nonsense." Or the load of old claptrap was a bleeding card going to tell me. I get that. Once upon a time, I was someone who said, how can you tell someone their future from a card? But this is the thing. It's not about telling you your future. It's giving you a little heads up, opening your eyes, for want of a better word. And then you either take it on board or you say like, nah, I ain't doing that, which is fair enough. But I want to draw your attention to just one card, and not all of them, just one. It's then called the Fool, and I want us all to be fools. And you're thinking, how dare you call me a fool? No, I'm not calling you a fool. I'm saying I want you to be a fool. And if you ever look at the Fool card, he is this guy who's like living his life with his eyes closed. He's up on this mountain top. He's literally looks like he's going to go over at the down inside. Everyone's going like this. There's this dog, and he's going, "Oh God, what's he doing?" But what he's doing, that character, he's living life in the present moment. He doesn't care about routines. He doesn't care about, oh, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. He's living life. He's living life in the moment. And that is what we all need to do, really, or we all can try and strive to do that, to live in that present moment, to be ourselves. Because believe it or not, we're not meant to be trudging up and down that treadmill just going round and round and round and round. You know, we end up going dizzy in the same old routines. Everything becomes boring. Everything becomes humdrum, and we are just little robots. You know, robot is means slave in Czech, I do believe it, where it originates from. And we just go bomb, bomb, bomb. And there's no room for anything to happen, no surprise. The Fool, on the other hand, he's up there, he's willing to surprise. He's always daring, how far can I push my luck without falling over the edge? We all know he looks like he's going to fall, but he's not going to fall, even though he is the Fool. He'll come back and he'll just like look at people. What are you worried about? You're not all panicking. I'm not. I'm fine. You know, everything's good. Everything's cushy, and I'm going to live my life. And that's what I like to come to you. Now, I like to use technology to our advantage. You know, I'm not someone who says like, you know, just because I do the spiritual thing and AI, no touch AI. Oh my God, that's like, you know, it's scary and all this. AI, like anything else, is a tool. It's what we do with it that matters. By the way, this isn't AI, what I'm going to recommend to you. But I don't mind using that stuff. If it makes life easier, why would you not use it? Use it together with your gifts. Use it together with your mind, your intellect, your passion, your spirituality. I don't see why that should be a problem. And I dare say people would want to hang drawn and quarter me for saying such a thing. But I'm just saying, be open to the possibility of these things actually cultivating some good in us. Use them, but don't be used by them. That is a massive difference. But the thing I'm going to recommend here, there's a little site. I'll put it in the link below. And I want you to comment as well where you are. Do you live your life in a routine? Or are you one of these people that, oh no, Gary, I've been doing this for years. I don't live in a routine. And if so, I bow to you and I thank you for any tips. You might have some tips and say, Gary, you haven't thought of this. Bang it in there and we could share because this is for me, it's what it's all about. Sharing is literally caring. So let's get those your thoughts down now. I'm sure if you're watching this, because I have appealed to the old thoughts, you've got plenty to say. You've got loads of wisdom to share. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's share it out there. Let people read and think, oh wow, I didn't think of that. That's how we grow by collective wisdom, as opposed to me waffling on with my low thoughts and whatnot. But the thing I come across literally a couple of days ago, and I know these things are out there, is what they call random number generators. And this thing is called pickawheel.com. So what you do, you can bung on selections on there, but what I do is I put in numbers, say 1 to 25 or whatever it is. And each one of those numbers correlates to a specific thing I'd like to do during the day. And so what I'm going to do in the day, it's still, you know, there's things we have to do. We can't get away. Still have to eat, don't we? We still have to have a hygiene and all the obvious things. There's still stuff that needs to be done. And we can incorporate that. Now, some of you might be saying, well, Gary, I'm working 9 to 5. How do I, yeah, we can look to maybe mix it up a bit, you know, if possible, sort of like if you've got your selection of tasks to do, switch them around a bit. This is what this does. It literally will jumble things up. And as stuff comes along, Try and do it if you can. But at the same time, if you're feeling, oh, I don't really don't want to do that, then don't do it because you want to have that enthusiasm. And there's nothing worse than doing something, oh, I feel like I have to do this because that defeats the whole point. But if we kind of do this in the right way, we're trying to approach it with each one of those little numbers from 1 to 25. There will be something you do during the day. I'll give you an example what I've got. So I've got 5 things. I'm just going to mention 5 things. I'm going to go bore you with all the things on my list. But number one, for example, YouTube recording. Exactly what I'm doing. And this is how I'm doing this now. Because literally I spun the wheel and it said YouTube recording, Gary. Oh, I didn't know I was going to do this. I didn't even know I was going to record a video today. It could have been that no video today. That's fine. That's living the dream, basically, living how the numbers sort of like generate for us. And it opens a surprise. So then I thought like, oh, right, I'm going to have to record a video. So I better be thinking of something what I'm going to share with you today. And today's message is about living life in a surprising moment. So YouTube recording for me. So that's my first book call. Uh, See, I get tongue-tied and I don't edit. I'm going to be honest, and that's how it should be for me. But yeah, it's the first port of call for me is doing the YouTube recording because it will allow me to expand upon the meaning of whatever comes up for me. Sometimes I do little haikus and elaborate on this meaning, but today I just wanted to get this out of there because I think it's really quite important if we can get ourselves out of the prison. So break free, everyone, find that freedom, and let's go from there. The second thing I would say to put on this little list, is for me, is spiritual space. So that's quite a nice, big, wide area for me. That could be meditation. That could be me giving myself a nice little Reiki treatment. It could be me giving myself a little reading. You know, because I do all those things. I give myself readings as well sometimes. Not massively, but just a little heads up for the day. That's 3 things I could mention. I could just do some breathing practice or whatever, whatever you consider spiritual, what I consider spiritual at the time. And this is another thing, allow that spiritual aspect to come through in how you see it. I'm sure you've got your own perspective. You could be your religious, you could be sending a prayer out. Perfectly fine. Do it. Take that approach. It's all about what's right for you. Adapt it. That's why I think this little wheel of fortune, as I call it, we can adapt it. And you might want to change it from time to time. You might have 20 items on there one list. You think, oh no, how about if I change a few things next week? Does it up a little bit? If you can, and I told you this is unrecorded, or this has these moments, and there goes the off camera. I just spun it all off there. So I know I'm doing a wheel of fortune, but that was a spinning wheel effect, literally there. So there you go. That's a little blooper. I'm keeping in this video. I'm not going to edit it out. It stays. It stays just like you, Stan. I'm hoping. Probably have a little giggle at my expense. I hope so. Please do laugh away because that's what life. We take it far too serious. This life. That's all. Have a giggle. I'm just glad I caught the tripod before it hit the deck. Okay. On that note, and I'm going to say to you now. Um, Now, if you're going through life and you find it a little bit like a constant battle at times, and you get don't you get days where you just think, oh, I've just had enough. I'm really fed up with all this nonsense. Drop a little note below in the comments. Just put never surrender. If you do that, I will give you a little link where you can ask for this little free booklet. It's, I think it's just about 1,500 words. It's got graphics and stuff. It's just my own little take on things. And you might find it useful. You might just find you just a little bit of a G up, for want of a better word. Or if nothing else, it'll just give you something to read and you can either sort of like take it on board or thought like, yeah, okay, Gary, well, thanks for that. Thanks, but no thanks. Perfectly fine. But I do believe some of you will find it useful. But you've got to act. It's not going to magically appear in your inbox. So what you do, you just follow the link. There'll be a little form to fill out. You'll give me your email address and I will give you that book. If that's cool with you, just hit that link, follow it, or just comment, sorry. Just comment, never surrender, and then we can make that process happen. Because I like sharing, and it don't cost you a thing. This thing is a freebie, no cost. It's just a PDF file. You look at it and you take it on board. I will be adding more PDFs that yeah, we'll have to buy, but this is no cost whatsoever, and there's no commitment. It's just something for you to take on board. I'll leave that with you. Anyway, the third thing on my list, on my little spinning wheel, my wheel of fortune, is exercise. I fully recognise, whilst it's nice to do my spiritual stuff, I gotta do the physical stuff as well. I used to be pretty fit. I used to be trained in karate for a good while, and I was as fit as a flea. Now, I did get to pretty much black belt. Now I am a fat belt. You know, those days are long, long, long gone. But having said that, I can still like do little things to get myself fit. No, my fitness has kind of gone west a little bit, so now I'm trying to get that back. So with that exercise, when that comes up on the wheel, now excuses goes, do something physical, and that is something. And I'm sure as we all get older, with our blood pressures suddenly becomes like unusual. You're like, oh, wait, get down, get down. And the doctor's saying, oh, I think we're going to put you on some pills. These are things we can do to combat that. Just simple things. I'm not saying you have to go to the gym. Just a simple 20 minutes on an exercise bike or whatever's right for you. That is what it's all about. It's just to get the blood pumping. That's my exercise. That's my number 3 on that wheel of fortune. Number 4, get the old grey matter ticking. So this is the time when I'd say, like, if you may be doing a little bit of studying or whatever, go down there, do a little bit of studying or whatever. And what I will say as well, all these little options, you're thinking, bloody hell, how do I fit all this in? Keep to about 20 minutes. 20 minutes. And then that will probably be most of the day you'll probably get this done. And maybe a few things will run over to the next day or maybe even the day after. But we just keep ticking them off till it's empty. And when it's empty, boom, we fill it back up again. Simple. Um, but yeah, get the brain work going. So, that could be reading a book, for example, reading a book. But obviously, rather than just skim through a book, do something I call mindful reading. So what I mean is, as you turn the page, just almost imagine that you're there. Really take your time. Don't rush it. I mean, I'm terrible. When I read a book, I'm going, I'm just like downloading. I want to say like, no, Gary, slow down. Feel the page. What colours are around? What smells are they trying to evoke? What's the character doing? What's that vagabond up to in the background? Instead of just seeing him lurking around the corner, try to imagine what he's there. This will really start to stimulate our imagination. And with the brain work, that could be something creative. Maybe you're going to be doing the writing. Maybe you're the one doing the artwork or whatever. So but do something that engages the brain a little bit. Me as well, I often do my little Duolingo. I'm studying, well, I've not got to actually say I'm studying German. Let's just say I look at some German words and maybe some of them might go into this old noggin of mine. That's how it's working. Because if you're going to ask me to start talking German, it ain't happening. But it's just something I can do. And quite often now, if I look at something in German, I actually do pick up quite a few words. Oh, I don't know what they're on about here. So whilst I not be too au fait speaking it or writing it, I can kind of understand it. Now I understand, funny enough, why, when you see people on screen in sort of like different languages, they talk to them in English and they were, what's it? They talk in English and they kind of answer in German. And well, you just understood that. Why did you not answer in English? I understand now because believe you me, it takes a lot of flipping working out. Oh, what was that word I need to say there? So I have full respect for anyone that can speak different languages. I mean, that is a hell of a skill, as I'm finding out. It's not easy, but and I enjoy it because it's on my terms, nobody else's. So that's number 4, brain work. 5 for me, and this is very personal to me. And probably I'll be very surprised if any of you guys are doing it, but it's I like writing little haikus. Haikus is like a Japanese form of poetry, and it goes 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables. I could wait right there and think of a haiku now, but you're going to get bored waiting whilst I do that. But it's just something I do, and what I often find lately is, and that's what I've been doing a lot of my videos. You check on some of my previous videos, you will see that the haikus, I start to expand, start looking for the spiritual meaning. And it really does open up your sensations, open up your vision. It is quite illuminating. And that's what I'm going to carry on doing. But I'm not just going to do haikus, I'm going to do a little bit of videos like this as well, where we try and understand a little bit deeper about what's going on really, and how we can kind of get on with things. Because I know a lot of people, when I put my haikus, unfortunately, there's a lot of ignoramuses out there. I'm going to look at, oh, flip it up, click on next video. Yeah, and if you're still here, you're not one of them. Yeah, I like you. And do you do? Is there anything like that you do, like writing wise? What's your hobby? Put it down below. I'll be curious to know. What's your hobby and why not? Yeah, I don't, maybe you join me. Make your YouTube video. There's a revolution going on. All that sort of like, how do we say, people of elder status are starting to get our point of view across and points of view across. That I think it's great. We're breaking the mold, and that's kind of like where I'd like to end now. It's like let's all break the mold. Let's break the mold of what we're supposed to do. We're getting on it. We don't have to listen to what other people are telling us what to do. We'll do what we want to flip it. We'll do. Thank you very much, and we'll do it our way. You know, our Frank Sinatra moments. We'll do it our way. So that is what I'm going to leave with you right there. And put that down in the comments. Break the mold. And then I'll know that you're in a very select group who've actually watched this video to the end. And for you, I have a special gift. Thank you so much for you guys to watch this so far. And I salute you. There you are. You are in that special club. The rest of them, they've long gone. But yeah, just put that in the comments. Just a little bit of fun, that one. And I hope this has been useful for you. For once, I am going to say consider liking and subscribing. I don't normally do that, but every now and then I will. So yeah, and there we go again. I've spun. There we go. Spin the wheel or spin the camera. New game. And I think they're telling me now, Gary, shut up. So I'll keep stum till the next one. Much love to you all. Bye bye.